Hey my friends, this is Daniel Alley, and today I want to talk with you about 7 things that you should never worship. Now when I say worship, what I'm basically saying is that whenever you put these things first and foremost in your life, it will stop you from achieving your highest purpose. So listen up. The first thing you should never worship is work. I know a lot of people who are workaholics and they cannot get enough of the job. Or maybe they run a business and they're always working on their business. They never give time to anything else. My friends, if this is you, you've got to stop right now. Just think about it. If you're working all the time and you make no time for anything else, how is that going to serve you in the future? There's so many people that neglect their health, their family, and even their money because they're working so often. A lot of times you see people and you can see their faces that they work too hard. If you know that you're someone that needs to decrease the number of hours that you work every single week, every month, and every year, then now is time to make that decision in your life. The second thing you should never worship is sex. There's a lot of people who are clearly addicted to sex. They let their lust ruin their lives because they cannot control their sexual impulses. My friends, I want to tell you something that's very important. If you don't know how to control your urges, then those urges will control you. If you find yourself addicted to lust, you're gonna know it instantly due to your actions. If you find yourself always looking for a hookup, or always watching porn, or always studying different models and what they have to display, then you should know that now is time to stop those behaviors. You have to change your thoughts. You have to change your feelings. You have to change your actions and stop pursuing sex as often as you do. I'm gonna tell you something that's very important. Sex is one of the most important weapons in this whole entire world. It's so powerful that it can create a life, but it can also destroy a life. If you're someone that's using sex incorrectly, then you will be in a path of misery, poverty, and pure destruction. Simultaneously, there is a way to use sex on a higher level. For instance, if you know that you're in love with the person you're gonna be with for the rest of your life, then that's a powerful way to use sex. If you know that you can start a family and you could be more creative, then you, my friend, are learning how to use sex in a more productive way. No pun intended. Now, I could talk about this topic all day. And if you want a video about sex, please comment yes in the section below, because there's so many ideas that I've thought of over the years that I've always wanted to share with you. But I also know that it's a taboo subject that not many people talk about. So please make sure to let me know what you want to know about this subject in particular, and I'll be sure to cover it in my future videos. The third thing you should never worship is money. Guys, look, the majority of people worship money. They do things that they would never do if no money was involved. Sometimes I go out in public, and I always see people who are working for money. I can instantly tell by their facial expressions or by their actions. And I'm telling you, if all you want is money, you're not gonna be happy. If all you want is money, that's all you'll end up earning. But if you want a lifestyle, if you wanna reach your potential, if you wanna live your highest purpose, if you wanna do something special in this earth, you have to think beyond your bills. You have to think beyond your paycheck. You have to think about your legacy. Look, there's so many people that by the time they die and they enter in the graveyard, they're not even going to realize that their whole entire life, all they were focused on was earning money. All they were focused on was paying their bills and sheltering and feeding their family. My friends, that is such a short-term existence in this world. So many people are held back from reaching their potential because they're blinded by their bills. They're so focused on the 1st and the 15th of the month that they can't see anything beyond that. And worst of all, they allow their employers to bribe them with a salary, which holds them back from living up to their potential, using their talents, and reaching their greatest purpose. So my friends, I have a question for you. Are you only working for money? Or are you working for people? Because if you're working for money, I'm telling you, my friends, no matter how much money you ever earn, it's not gonna make you happy. Because you're gonna have that money, but then that's all you'll have. You're not gonna have the relationships that you want. You're not gonna have the lifestyles that you want. You're not gonna have the things that will allow you to become the greatest version of yourself. But if you focus on people, if you focus on your highest power, and you understand your purpose, then money will naturally be attracted to you. So all I'm saying is this: don't focus on profit, focus on people. Because when you focus on people, the profit will come. You'll focus on exactly what you need to do in order to get to where you need to be. And naturally, as you serve other people, money will trickle down your path. The fourth thing you should never worship are ideas. Every single person in this world has $1 million idea. Some people even have $1 billion idea. But my friends, I want to tell you something. So many people act on those ideas without understanding the consequences of what could potentially happen. All I'm saying is this: if you have an idea, make sure to evaluate the situation. Make sure to understand the consequences. Make sure that you can see all the opportunities involved in acting upon that idea. So my question for you is this: what is your $1 million idea? And what are you doing to act upon it? Or even this: what if you have that $1 million idea, but you've been sitting on it because you've been worshiping the fears regarding that idea? Maybe you have this brilliant idea you've been thinking about for months, maybe years, and you know that if you acted upon it, you could be successful. But you fear the criticism. You fear the potential failure. You fear the poverty that could happen, that you might run out of money, or you even fear the success. Because if you become successful, well, people might hate you. People might judge you. There might be too much pressure. And so you're afraid of acting on the idea that you've been dwelling about. My friends, I want you to know that if there's any idea that you're particularly in love with, make sure to understand what is involved with that idea. Don't jump into the river with both feet. Make sure to stick your toes in and see how the water actually is. If there's someone that you like, that you think you could be in love with, make sure to test out that relationship to see if it's real. If there's a business that you know could eventually grow into an empire, make sure to count the cost and understand what is involved with that business. If there's any big idea that feels right in your life, make sure to check your heart before you start. Make sure to check your logic before you act on that which you believe in. Because there's so many people who've made mistakes just because they've acted too emotionally or they've acted too illogically. My friends, if you make the right decisions in your life, it will always lead you into the right positions in life. Make sure to understand the idea that you're about to pursue because it can change everything that you are about to do. The fifth thing you should never worship is potential. You see, potential are just like ideas. Because if someone sees something that they feel can be something great in their life, then they can worship that. They can worship a person, they can worship a job, they can worship a thing because of what it could become. Not because of what it actually is, but what it could be. There's so many people who fell into traps where they thought it was an opportunity. They thought that this house that was broken down was actually going to be their dream house. If they can fix it, then they could potentially live in it. They thought that entering a broken relationship could change the person. That maybe after a couple of months or a couple of years, they could fix this person. They thought that a certain job or a business was going to work out because they saw the potential. But they found out in the end that it had no potential at all. There was no real opportunity, and they were blinded because of that potential. So my question for you is this: are you falling in love with any kind of potential? Are you looking at anyone or anything or a certain place that you're saying to yourself, oh, let me get my hands wrapped around this one because this is going to lead to a big opportunity? Some people buy low and they expect to sell high, but they sell lower than what they actually bought for. Don't let that be you. Make sure to understand what potential is and also understand what it could be and also what it won't be. The sixth thing you should never worship is lifestyle. There's so many people who copy a certain lifestyle that they think they want, and when they actually get there, it's very displeasing. They realize it's not exactly what they thought it was. And just like potential, what we thought was gonna happen versus what actually happened is called disappointment. Just as so many people become disappointed with potential, so many people could be let down with lifestyle. You might think, wow, that person has a nice car. They're always dressing up. They're going to these fancy places, eating these great foods. And you might say to yourself, I want to be like that person. But my friends, I want to let you know that you've got to stop comparing and start preparing. You've got to stop conforming and start performing. You've got to stop trying to be like everyone else and start focusing on being yourself. Because after all, if you're trying to be like everyone else, then who's going to be you? That's why you can't force yourself into certain situations. You cannot force yourself into someone else's lifestyle. All you can do is to develop your own. Look, I'm gonna tell you straight up, the media wants us to think that you have to live a certain way in order to be successful. The movies, the music, the social media, everywhere is going to portray this certain idea of what you need to be before you reach your highest destination. But my friends, I wanna tell you something. In order to free yourself, you have to be yourself. In order to be yourself, you have to free yourself from those ideas that are being sent to you from big media. Because big media has one goal, is to get you to spend more. And if you're falling into the idea that you have to spend more to impress people, then that's the wrong idea. Don't worship a lifestyle, worship the highest power. Don't try to do what everyone else is doing. Focus on what you need to be doing. Focus on where you need to be going. Focus on the goals you need to be pursuing. So my question for you is this: what kind of lifestyle do you know you need to be creating right now? And how soon could you get to that lifestyle if you could imagine the highest thoughts regarding that type of living? If you could see it in your mind, you can manifest it in your life. If you understand exactly what you need to do, you'll understand exactly who you need to become, and you'll reach your highest destination on earth. The seventh thing you should never worship are people. Now this summarizes almost everything we talked about today, because everything we talked about revolves around people. So many people worship other people just because of their potential, just because of their ideas, or their lifestyle, or the sex, or anything else. If you find yourself worshiping people, bowing down to a celebrity, studying every single thing they do and every single word that they say, then you need to change your mentality if you want to change your reality. You cannot begin to worship someone as soon as you wake up in the morning and worship them as soon as you go to bed. So many people begin and end their days that way that it puts them into a life of turmoil. It keeps them from living up to their full potential because they're blinded from the things that they could do because they're focused on the person they could be. And the person that they could be is not the person that they necessarily see. My friends, I'm gonna tell you something that's very important. There might be so many people that you look up to. You might even look up to your parents or your siblings, or even your kids, or your coworkers, or your bosses, your neighbors, your friends, whomever. What I'm saying to you is to not focus so much on that person. Don't worship that person in a way where you're focused on them every single moment, every single hour, and every single day. Understand that every single person in this world has flaws. Every single person has made mistakes, and every single person will eventually die. So don't put anyone up on a pedestal. Don't ever make anyone else your God. Understand that people in the end are limited compared to what God can actually do in your life. Because that's exactly what this message is all about. If you put any of these things first, you're gonna realize that the expectations that you had about those things will eventually let you down. What you should be putting first is God. If you put God first, then all these other things will be added onto your life. So there you go, my friends. I just shared with you 7 things that you should never worship. If you like this video, make sure to comment now in the section below. And please share this video with someone else you know absolutely needs it. If you have any questions, make sure to leave it in the comment section below. I always read every single comment. I appreciate your love and your support over the years. Guys, it's time to take your life to the next level. Follow me on Instagram, make sure to get my books, and guys, please, if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. I'll see you on the next video.